Hi crafty friends, this is card number 40 in Full Deck Challenge 3. This week's prompt was candy, and I have this beautiful candy wrapper, and it's all the way from Disneyland in Tokyo. I'm loving the pink and gold, so I have also a pink stamp. It matches with that, which is my constant, and then my carryover item from last week is going to be this lace. It's a beautiful element to add. Now, just a bit of a disclaimer for this week's card. I got so wrapped up in the golden pink that I did forget to use my mini collage theme, which is the theme or the overall theme for this challenge. But I also like to say that the rules aren't really hard and fast, so if we miss something every now and then, that's also okay. I'm going to start by adding more gold. I'm loving the metallic feel of this week's card, so I'm going to add some gold leaf in the top left corner of my card. Just directly onto the card, I'm using some glue stick, and then I'm gently applying the gold leaf and pressing it down gently. Just a reminder that the cards that I'm using have got what is called a linen finish. So they're not very glossy and things stick to them quite well. If your card is a different type and it's got quite a glossy finish, the glue stick might not work directly onto that, and you might need to put some tissue paper first or maybe some clear gesso. So the gold leaf is going just in the corner with little bits sort of coming off it more into the middle, so the edges are not definite or defined. I don't know, there's something about gold leaf that I really love, and I love adding it to my projects and even in my journal pages. And the fact that it is so easy to apply is just a real bonus. And I know everyone is waiting to hear next week's prompt, and that will be zigzag. I'm just doing a quick dry to make sure that glue stick is nice and dry so my gold leaf doesn't move around. The next step is I want to add a little bit more pink to pick up the color from my little candy wrapper, and I'm going to simply do this with a little bit of acrylic paint. I found a pink as close as possible to my candy wrapper, and I'm going to add some water to it, and then I'm going to do just some pink splatter over the card. It's a very simple addition, but I think it's quite effective. So I'm just getting the right consistency. I'm adding a little bit more paint. You don't want it too watery so it actually does stick to the card, but you also don't want it too thick because you want to have nice droplets. And I'm using a fan paintbrush because I do find that for me, that is the best paintbrush to use for doing splatter. So the consistency is ready. I'm going to splatter over the entire card. It's okay if it goes over the gold leaf. I like that it sort of combines and overlaps, and that's how it creates continuity. Right, so I've cleaned that up and I've dried the card really well. The next step is to start adding all my fun elements. So for the candy wrapper, I thought to make a ruffle out of it. So I'm going to cut it in half long ways and then attach one piece to the other long ways again. And I'm going to run it under my sewing machine to create a ruffle. And it then looks like this. I do love that there's a little bit of red in the wrapper, which picks up the red of the card, which is the hearts. So our color theme is pink, red, and gold. I think that's fantastic. And I'm going to work with that. So I thought to put my stamp as part of the background first, like behind the ruffle, and then I thought the pink wasn't enough. So I've also brought another red one in, which luckily I had a similar and matching color, and I ended up using them as part of the focal point. I thought to use the lace as part of the background. So I'm going to cut a piece. It's going to stick out a little bit on the top and the sides. I don't want it exactly the same size as the card, and I love that it's just going to add a little bit of texture and interest behind my ruffle. This lace is from Taperlogy. I'll put a link to the website in the description box below. Just trying to see how that's all going to look together when it's stacked, and then I'm going to stick down the lace. I'm going to use Mod Podge for this, but I'm not going to cover the entire area that's going to be where the lace is. I'm just going to go down the center of where the lace will go, just quite a thick or thickish layer of Mod Podge. I'm then going to place the lace on top and apply a little bit more Mod Podge over that. That should hold everything in place. And if you haven't joined in the Full Deck Challenge, you can join at any time. This is deck 3. I do have full deck challenge 1 and 2 that I created in past years. I will link all the playlists in the description box below. You can join on any deck with any card and at any time. Like I said earlier, rules are few, and if you're on Facebook, you can join my group there. Just search Full Deck Challenge Group. I'm going to use a clear craft glue to stick down the ruffle. I want something quite tacky, and I'm going to put quite a bit, but not too much, just in a line down where the ruffle is going to go, and then I'm going to press that over. Don't mind me while I'm squeezing that glue container with all my might. It's nearly finished, the glue inside, and I really had to squeeze really hard to get the last bits out. I think it's time to visit the store to get a new one. I'm going to place a big bulldog clip on top of that just to hold everything down while it dries. I think that should be good. Now that everything is stuck down, we're going to work on the focal point, which is going to be my postage stamps. I tried a few different ways to see how they would work, whether I wanted the red one on top or the pink one on top, and then I thought maybe I'll put one on the side. So just try various things and ways to add your focal points until you're happy with how it looks. I also thought about adding an image or an element like a heart or a butterfly. I did look through all my die cuts that I had, and I found a little pink, well, I'd say it's like a sentiment. It's just an XOXO in gold on a pink background, which I thought was cute to maybe use, and also the same one that said the words "so cute." So I brought those along and just tried to see if they would match. This did take me a little bit of time just to get that balance. So I decided to put the two stamps together like that, and then to attach them, I thought I'm just going to run it under the sewing machine as well. It adds additional texture and will hold everything in place really well. So using a zigzag stitch and white thread, I've just sewn one line down the center so you don't lose the aesthetic of the stamp. And then just going to see where my little sentiment is going to go. At this point, I thought I was done, but I felt I needed a little bit more of that dark red just to create a little bit more balance. And I happened to find this little half-broken leaf die cut in my die cut box, and I thought I will just color it and add it somehow to the background or just behind the ruffle, just to extend that red out a little bit. And the red that I'm using is a little brighter than the postage stamp. It sort of matches more the Ace of Hearts in the background. And it's an acrylic marker, so it'll dry really quickly. I'm not a fan of working with tweezers when sticking things down. I just want to use my hands, but I didn't want to burn my fingers off drying this. So I've just got the tweezers so I can dry it. And then because it's quite finicky, I'm going to use the tweezers to place it in the back of the ruffle. And at the last minute decided to cut one of the leaves off and put 2 leaves at the top and 1 at the bottom, again to create some balance. Otherwise we'd be a little bit top heavy if we had all 3 of the leaves at the top. So I'm going to tuck 2 in behind on the top left, and that last one's going to go at the bottom on the right, again tucked in behind the ruffle. The card looks quite busy, but let me show you a close-up so you can see all the details and all that beautiful gold luster. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch my video this week. I really hope you enjoyed it and were inspired to create your own altered playing card and maybe even join in my full deck challenge. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and then hit the little bell so you're notified every time I upload new content. Thanks again for watching. Happy creating, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.